Oh.
The end is here! Hey everyone, this is Mikoy. Welcome back to the last episode of this, the Plaza Premiere podcast. I am joined by...
Okay, 2004. It's early in the morning.
We really need to stop recording this early in the morning. Hey, last time we covered semis recap and finals predicts, and this time we're gonna do finals recap. You may notice I'm a little bit conceited when speaking, when presenting today's video, because fucking Absols won again. Seriously?
Yeah, and they really wouldn't have if not for a certain something.
You really
couldn't even have gotten to finals.
Seriously, you couldn't even make the series interesting. You just had to 5-0. The Runerigus is up all the way for last week. Are you serious? You didn't even make the game interesting. At least with TPP 1 and 2, you at least the Laurantises and the Cinderaces actually tried to make the series interesting, because we all know the Absols was
gonna... my team put up a fight against the Absols. This was just slaughter.
It was just uninteresting, anticlimactic, and very indicative of we really need to get this tour over with. So yeah.
I'm of the opinion my team would have won had something not happened.
Seriously.
The Runerigus got slaughtered.
So yeah, Absols win for the third straight. Well, they're not their third straight, but their third win out of 4 TPPs. Really? We really need to find a team that can actually beat the Absols.
I was that team, I was that team.
But, well, the certain something, that was unfortunate. We could have had that certain something not happen.
Yeah.
Alright, let's review.
It really would have been Bayonets versus Runes, which would have been great for Spooky season.
Well, let's review the game, shall we, to end it off. First off, we got TSAA Number Band versus Longheap. This didn't even happen. This was probably one of the hyper games that happened, but it just didn't.
Did you just say it happened and that it didn't in the same sentence?
This would have happened had it not been a complete slaughter. But they didn't play. And Longheap at least gets to keep his undefeated record. And so does TNM, yeah. I guess. Stab and Mega. Ice Master versus Fabulu. I mean, this game was actually a little closer than expected, but towards the end it just kind of ended up being dominant. First of all, Joey losing the Mewtwo to the Pheromosa at turn 1. That was kind of a mistake, honestly, because Mewtwo was kind of needed, I guess, for that matchup in particular.
Yeah, not totally sure why that was sacked. Maybe just... Actually, I guess he didn't really have a great Pheromosa switch in.
I guess. Blissey just living a hit to Whirlwind Gyarados, which was another huge threat in Ice's team. That was pretty lucky of Ice. Blissey was very defensively invested that way to live the Whirlwind, especially when Gyarados has the boosts. Towards the end of the game, Excadrill was burned, so that was the crucial play, and then Ice played the majority of the end game, just outplayed it otherwise. So yeah, this ended up being an Ice win. It wasn't as good as the match they had previously, but what can you do? Next up is Rand's Casual.exe versus London 13. This ended up, I remember watching these games and thinking, London has a shot in winning this. Because game 1 was actually really even between these two. I mean, Altarius Cloud9 neutered Sandstorm for just a short while. But by short while, I mean 1 turn. Arceus Poison was out for a good portion of that game, especially walling Tyranitar, especially with the crunches. And then Chinchino just ended up being the MVP of that game in particular, and then revenge killing.
Thing is, even though was it Casual who had the Arceus?
Yes.
Even though Casual had a freaking Arceus, it was not exactly a great type of Arceus in that matchup.
Yeah, Arceus Poison wasn't really, it wasn't really the best kind of Arceus. Well, it is Rand, but it wasn't exactly the best bring either. Game 2 saw Casual getting off the webs early into that game. London just bringing a team that is heavily weak to Mega Manetric. And being punished for it as a result. The endgame saw Double A tanking Talonflame's Flare Blitz pretty well, and then just sweeping the endgame.
It looked like 36.
Yeah, it took minimal damage. That Eviolite really was put to use. And then game 3, we saw Clawitzer usage in the early game, and then Magearna, getting the agility and setting up against a Mega Lopunny of all things to sweep the late game. So a good win for Casual there. Again, London was not an easy opponent, but hey, at least Casual ended up getting better Mons. In preview along, it seemed like Casual had the game down, even though London had not a bad choices either. Next up, we got Camo Doubles. Roldski versus Yoda. This was played after the series had already been decided, but they still played anyway, and Roldski once again pulled off another huge upset.
Well, I don't know if Yoda really cared.
I don't think either, because the game was actually pretty even. It was very close. Mew getting one layer of Toxic Spikes in, poisoning almost everything in Yoda's team except for the Ferrothorn. That was pretty cool. And Roldski really employed that early game strat that ended up mattering in the end game. Rillaboom. Spectrier was also heavy duty boots. I almost forgot to mention. Rillaboom getting to kill Spectrier with Woodhammer. That really hampered Yoda badly for a good portion of that game, honestly. Ferrothorn was the MVP of that game, getting to stay in for the longest time and taking the special hits well, and almost killing everything with Body Press. The ending was extremely close. You had Amoonguss, and I think it was Bug Ground Incineroar against the Trick Room Core. I forgot what Yoda had towards the end, but Poison ended up mattering at the end and killed Yoda's team. And it was left to normal Ghost Amoonguss taking the win.
Amoonguss? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's this.
Yeah. Same 6. We got Tony versus Ars9. This was pretty much the best game of the week because both players played really evenly in this series, especially with the months that they had.
I expect no less from either side.
At least I can count on them to bring us a pretty good match, while the others just basically weren't as good. Raikou bringing Ghostium Z. An interesting choice, but I don't think it was the most effective. Yeah, you had the scare of Shedinja, but what's it going to do against everything else? I mean,
nothing. It's literally only for Shedinja.
It wasn't exactly the best bring, especially when you got other mons that could easily take out Shedinja as much as the team building there. Custom.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure Raikou was walled by Shedinja if it didn't bring something like that.
Well, you could
That's
easily
why they brought it.
You could easily switch into something else.
Easily switch into Shedinja from Raikou, and then Shedinja just does something, and you don't really want that, do you?
I mean, Golem has Rock Blast. Oh. Raikou has Snarl.
Tony Shedinja was not boots, huh?
It wasn't. It basically died when it was sent out because of rocks. Cutstep Berry Quagsire killing Dugtrio was definitely an interesting turn. Tony's Z Supersonic Nidoking was definitely a good choice. Getting to live a liquidation from Quagsire was pretty bulky. Well, nah, it was just... Quagsire just got the low roll, I don't know. But yeah, Tony really brought Supersonic Nidoking to also outspeed Arceus' own Nidoking. And the ending saw Dugtrio having the Endure reversal set, which ended up winning the game. It basically reversal, I think it was Quagsire, Arceus Quagsire, and ended up winning the game. It was actually a very close ending too, so well done both of you.
I'm watching the ending right now. And oh my.
You see how it was good.
It all comes down to the Dugtrio. It earthquakes, so it killed the god. Oh, there's Endure.
And there's the Endure reversal working into play. Very, very cool set. And again, this shows how much the building for Sim 6 has been pretty... not up to par with the past years, but it was still pretty nice because we got good players. We got good builders to compensate.
Dang, he's Select buried.
Oh, that's right, it was Select as
hoping
well.
it would be like Glitchy buried. Because like Dugtrio's already really fast here.
Nah. Maybe it will just want to outspeed his own Dugtrio. I don't know. He was expecting another Select.
Yeah, maybe.
Next up, Natex Ubers. We got Will versus Poick. Cramorant.
I saw that live.
Well, you saw that live. So, what do you think happened? Well, what do you recall from that game?
I recall Will winning.
Okay, so I can recall other things. For example, Cramorant leading and soloing Deoxys Speed in the early game. That was neat. Mega Mewtwo X proved to be a kind of a threat. Too bad Poick switched it early. He hard switched it early, and it took Eternamax and Dynamax cannon damage, which caused Will to basically have a free win. Yeah, there was the ending with Arceus and Calyrex proving to be a 50-50, but Will played very tactically in order to get the win. So yeah, well done, Will. It wasn't really the best showing for Poick because, you know, the Mega Mewtwo X could have done real damage to the rest of the game, but...
what do you mean for the rest of the game? It died on turn 9.
Exactly. Had it not been sacked like that, it would have been the MVP. It was...
maybe, but you gotta remember, Will still had the Cramorant, and if he used the Mega Mewtwo on the Cramorant...
What if he had Thunder Punch?
And then, if it was paralyzed, Will would have been able to broaden the cap. Oh, yeah, that reminds me, this ended with a lot of Calyrex.
It ended a lot of Arceus as well. Just a lot of constant switching between Arceus and Calyrex. So next...
Yeah, I remember that now.
So Monotype Cap, we got Doug... Next up...
Sash?
I think it was Sash, yeah.
Yeah, it had to be. And to have had any shot of winning the 50-50 otherwise.
So next up, we got Monotype Cap Dugtrio versus Tier. This didn't happen either, so let's move on to the final game, which is not the final game of the series, of the whole series, but the final thing we'll cover is Lax versus Eowyn.
I also saw this live, though I didn't pay a ton of attention to it because it was at the same time as Will versus Poick.
Yeah, this one was interesting. Gen 7 game saw Tangrowth fling, paralyzing the Weavile. which was it was usually useless moves. So this one is an interesting bring because Light Ball Tangrowth, that was cool. Lax bringing Nature Power Tapu Koko just to get Thunderbolt in. I guess that's a nice workaround of the usually useless moves category. I don't know. Jirachi had a pretty demon set, which never really got use. And then Uproar Porygon with Normalium Z boosts wins. And then
that thing was a monster.
The Jirachi was also a monster until it died.
That was less of a monster.
Gen 8.
It was like a makeshift demon Rachi.
Well, that's true. Gen 8 saw the Celesteela outstalling for pretty much half the game, and then Dragapult just sweeping everything else with Dragon Darts. So not as good of a game as Gen 7, but hey, Lax proved us an upset, and we really thought Ewan was going to take home one for the Runerigises until the games happened.
Yeah, on second thought, we shouldn't have said Ewan will win. This was no contest, apparently.
You lose. So yeah, that was the ending of the Absolute Posters and the Runerigises. I mean, both teams actually, they were the top two teams going into semis and going into playoffs. But Runerigus had a pretty good season, I think. Despite them choking absolutely big time in the finals, they still had a pretty good season. It was not hard.
They were literally the top team in the primary season, yeah. They won 6 weeks and lost 1.
Yeah, the main factors that led to them carrying such a great team is they had a lot of really good players that really strongly carried through the season. Long Heap having that 7-0 record definitely was the big one, the big boy, if you will. Joey was a great playing manager, probably aside from the Absols, probably the best playing manager we got with a 4-2 record.
I think so.
London had a 3-4 record. I mean, decent, but negative. But hey, it was only a 3K buy. But the big surprising 3K buy was Roldski, who ended up going 4-2, causing a lot of upsets.
True.
Arch9 also had 4 wins, very incredible there. Ewan also had 4 wins to his record, so good players. Again, getting good players for cheap ass prices. Well done. And the others like Tear Acid, who went 3-2, Ayaka Based What, who went positive, and the rest, Zern, Hearn, Raichi, Poek, Dr. PhD BJ, who we really could have seen more of, Crucified, Reggie, and then Bruno. We really could have seen more, but things happened, and then and of course the Absols.
Well, we couldn't see more of Bruno for reasons.
The
just didn't play much.
Yeah, and of course the Absols. I know Ice mentioned that this was probably their weakest lineup ever since the first iteration. I actually think the opposite. I think this may have been one of their better, and I say better in quotation marks, is because they still had a pretty damn good season. It was just not up to par with the likes of, TPP2, which I think is their strongest. And then TPP...
I feel like they have some pretty high expectations of their team after what had happened for TPP 1 and 2.
And
so
especially
the weakest is still sort of an exaggerated way of putting it.
Well, TPP3 was probably their weakest. It was very indicative of what their performance was last year. This year, they did pretty dang well. And TNM and Ice Master proving once again why they are the best playing managers. Casual.exe having a neutral record to Rans to his name. Yoda having an 8-2 record in doubles. Very impressive there.
Damn, that's a record worthy of the Lock Bunnies.
That is a record worthy of Hall of Fame. Tony Flygon, of course, doing as well, even though didn't do as well as last year, but still had a positive record to his name.
It's funny considering he went for cheaper last year.
And he went for more and won. What happened? He was the highest. Ranked player in their team, or price. Sorry, price.
It's quite possible that Tony just felt more motivated to play last year due to the managers.
And you saying they weren't here?
With Team Charm, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, getting TNM and Ice Master as
they were on good terms, clearly.
Will had a pretty good record in Ubers to his name. Dugsa also had a great season. Lax also had a decent season. Meta having a neutral season. The only players who didn't really get to play much, Manette, Tranquility, Irpa. I mean, they weren't bad, but at least they were great at building.
Well, I don't know about Tranquility.
Hey, X can build.
Times.
He has played 3 times, and maybe.
I don't really remember his games.
Okay.
So I can't really say.
Alright, so that was the end of TPP proper as a whole, so well done, everybody.
Just gonna point out, remember, Manette's only game was Metronome.
Manette. Yeah, Manette having exactly the game he wanted, and still win! He still won!
Good job. Many can only play Metronome and keep a perfect record.
So that was the end of TPP4 proper. Great job. Great. Congrats again to the Absol Posters for winning their 3rd TPP. Seriously. When are you guys gonna pose a real challenge to beat the Absols? So now it's time to do our silly little thing and do our awards. So, first off, Team of the Year. I mean, very self-explanatory. This goes out to the team who really made an impact along with the others. And the winner of that, we got 25 responses. The winner of that was the Ruinheim Runerigus at 44%. So again, the winner of the tour didn't even win Team of the Year.
Goes to show people really wanted a different result.
Because, second place was the Absols at 24%, and third was actually the Bayonet, so be proud that you still have a place on the podium.
Yeah, I'm aware we already have a place on the podium.
You're
third.
Oh, yeah. It was second, first, third, and then this one. Bayonet scored 4th, and then Articuno's actually still had a piece of the pie. The others just didn't make it into the cut.
We scored 3rd. Nikoi.
Yeah, I know. And you scored 3rd. No, I said 3rd.
You said 4th.
Oops. So Bayonet, Golbats scored 4th, and then Articuno still had a piece of the pie.
And the Balansoids, Frostmoths, and Venantus are absent.
Oof.
Meaning none of them even voted for their own team.
Oh. Next up, Manager Pairing of the Year. Again, very self-explanatory. Who's the managers that motivated each and every player in their team to win? And the winner goes to Blossom Fabalu at 36%.
Wow.
So the Runerigus swipe the first 2 awards from the Absol Posters. I mean, TNM and Ice still didn't do bad. I mean, 28% with only 7 votes. And third place was Euphanos and Pokier. So literally, it was the same result as the Team of the Year award.
God damn it. Am I only destined to get 3rd so far?
Well, we'll see with the later things. Well, this was probably the only award you were gonna get. So congrats on winning bronze, PokeArt. Twice.
Bronze, yeah, I'm so happy.
Fourth place was Ducky and Eggs. A Golbat scoring fourth. What the heck? And then finally, Latias and TDR sharing a piece of the pie. So literally, it was the same result as
I
the.
don't see Frosty Iceland and Memorik or Ainscred and Sasha or Cyber or Sipicon and Brixel. I wonder where they are.
Ooh.
Wow, it's almost like the same three teams are not on the awards again.
Oh, they were just kind of cannon fodder. No, I'm kidding. Seriously, it was the same result. Why? How uncreative, I guess. So yeah, well done to Blossom Fabaloots scoring another award. Next up, Tier of the Year. This definitely is a lot more contentious than most awards. And the winner went to Same Six, who I would have picked. 36%?
Okay, that's fine. That isn't what I picked, but...
What did you pick?
Wait, no, I forget what I picked. It was either Same Six or TSAA I picked.
I would prefer Same Six either way. This was the best tier that we got, honestly, because there was a lot of good players and some really good sets and really good games. And Same Six was just fun to build for, and that's why Same Six gets the nod. Very deserving.
I think I picked TSAA.
TSAA got second at least with 20%.
It was actually a fun tier, despite some people saying otherwise.
By some people, you mean the Absols. Stab and Mega and Natic Supers getting 12%. And then Multi-Gen Rands and Mystery OU getting 8%. And Camo Doubles actually getting...
Which one was the one that wasn't voted for then?
Monotype Cap. Camo Doubles, a tier people hated, got more votes than Cap Monotype, so we're definitely returning Camo Doubles for next year. I'm kidding. Alright. Next up. Overpay of the Year. Would you say this was better than the one I did for BLT?
Yeah, definitely, because for BLT... the people you included who went for ridiculous prices, they all did pretty well.
This one went for...
This one all consists of people who either didn't do much or did terribly.
And the winner for that is a shocking 60% goes to Crying at 15 votes.
I don't think that's shocking at all. He has the worst record here apart from Leo and went for the most.
Apart from Byleth, who went almost 20k.
I'm aware, but at least Byleth had 2 wins. Byleth still went neutral.
Poor Crying.
Crying went for 15.5k, played 4 times, couldn't take home a single win.
Poor Crying.
I think that's a very warranted first place here.
Poor Crying. He didn't really do much in the Rands department and kept getting outmatched quite a bit. So yeah, even though I saw them literally win a Rands tour over the past couple of days in TLT qualing, the previous TLT champion couldn't muster a win in TPP, unfortunately.
Okay, but are we going to point out how Kate still got second despite Leo going for more and having an objectively worse record?
Well, I think a lot of people had more faith in Leo than Kate. Which kind of speaks to the volume how poorly Kate did despite getting that notable win. Still didn't do well.
Yeah, the thing is, all those losses prior sort of became meaningless when she pulled off that win, because, we had still made it to where we were, despite all her losses, and it was only then that we truly needed her to win, and she won. So
she won when it really mattered.
It doesn't really matter to me anymore.
She won when it really mattered. Byleth scoring third. Leo didn't even make it into the into the pie because TDK men's also didn't make it into the thing, but yeah, this was quite the interesting overpay voting.
Minst, is that his name?
Men's
He
MNCMT.
also didn't get into the pie.
Yeah. Steal of the year. Oh boy, this one is kind of contentious. This was kind of contentious to us because we were discussing and we really debated on whether or not we should put Michael here, despite I don't think he's a steal at all. And I mean 11.
He went 9-0 and supported every tier.
He still went 11.5k. That's not a steal.
That is a steal considering how he was basically, he carried a lot of us to the finals.
Well, that's semis. Well, of course you would support Michael.
That was 100% a steal, like 11.5k.
I mean, it's because I know it's because
support in almost every tier. That's not something you typically get at 11.5k.
I guess, but still, he went for a. Maybe it's because it's Michael. Maybe it's because of the quality of the player, but
exactly.
That's still not a steal. Well,
it is a steal. That is definitely a steal. Look, that 12% agrees.
Well, 12% agrees, but he didn't win. But he didn't win because the winner was
on the pie.
He was on the pie, but he didn't win because the winner ended up being Los Goto Shoto at 44% with 11 votes. 7-0 with 3k. That's a much bigger steal.
Yeah, I understand that. Although Axel getting second place, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, Axel getting second place with 7.75 with a 16% record, very good. Ewan and Ars9 getting only being 3k buys and still doing 4-0, very good. Roxy also having a piece of the pie, and Michael of course 9-0.
Everyone got a piece of the pie.
Everyone got a piece of the pie. Next up is the Udon Girl Award for the most gimmicky player. I didn't have a most gimmicky set. There were too many. But we have a most gimmicky player who consistently built very creatively built teams. And the winner is Rice Man at almost half, 48%, because he kept bringing memes. Next up was a GXC in Same 6 with 20%. He built pretty creative sets in Same 6. Shiloh and Euphanos both sharing 12% of it. I feel like there's some...
Yes, the Bayonets, they both got third again.
Tony only getting 1 vote, and then Larry also getting 1 vote. Kind of a shame, honestly. I thought both brought really good sets, and yet people don't think... Maybe people were just expecting Tony and Larry to just be whack sets, but Rice Man, definitely deserving of the Udon Girl Award.
I'm sorry to say, I also voted Rice Man. Sorry, you. It was just too...
Betrayal! Easy. Unluckiest Player Award. We've seen some really bad records, but these guys were expected to do well. Very expected to do well. And then it was just a bad case of either matchup or hacks or whatever, or maybe a combination of both, or just bad playing.
Everyone has a nice piece of the pie this time.
And the winner, surprisingly, went to Shadow Monster at 20%. I mean, yes, he did pretty poorly leading up to the playoffs, but he got at least a couple of wins. I personally would have voted for Expulso, despite being 4th, because Expulso really had a really bad start at Rands, and carried a couple of games, yes, but still, it wasn't as the Expulso we've come to know. So is Shadow. I guess. But
It was Rams, though.
I mean, same with Shadow, but yeah, I feel like Expulso could have gotten the win here, but hey, at least people think Shadow flat out admitted that this tier sucks, so very deserving, I guess. I'm sorry, Shadow.
Bearzong came in second.
Bearzong did game in second. Bearzong did game in second, which is
where most of the time he got immune.
Yeah, Bearzong was practically bullied this practically bullied in TPP because he either had a bad matchup or he was just matched up against a really good mono player.
Yeah, usually it was the tight matchup that did him in.
Leru and
for like maybe 3 times.
it was becoming a running joke.
Even if his most recent time was not exactly a loss via type matchup, his opponent brought something he couldn't exactly beat. It kind of just auto-won. It was the D-Dance Dragapult.
Yeah, it was Dragon versus Electric. We couldn't really do much. Leo and Leru sharing a piece of the pie.
It was Ghost
Ghost.
Electric, was it not?
Oh, yeah, it was Ghost. Sorry, Dragapult's confusing sometimes. Sometimes it's good at one thing, it's good at another thing. We'll talk about that when we get to Mon of the Year.
Okay.
Streak Maker of the Year. Because we've seen streaks. Streaks were a common thing in TPP, and this one was definitely the 5 best. Yes, we saw Crunchman and Kepper falling out, but they had surprisingly good streaks. But the winner, Michael their best, at 40%. Was there really any...
It's more of a logical question than an opinion, because, well, he legitimately had the best streak.
9-0. 9-0 with, 18-0. In terms of Rand's games.
No, it was not 18-0, Baker. I think you forget that he lost 1 game to Ice Master.
20-1? So his final record ended up being 20-1? I think.
No. That would make 21 games.
Oh, 21-1.
So do the math, McCoy. He plays 2-0 for the first 8.
21.
16. Then he plays 9. Then he plays 3 more games. That puts him at 19 games total.
Oh, 19-1. Oops.
No, he's 18-1.
18-1. Yeah, I can't do math today. Second place was Long Heap. And then third place was Let's Go no Shoto.
Makes sense, as he legitimately went 7-0.
And so did Losco no.
Also went 7-0, but I guess people were more impressed with Longy because I feel going 7-0 in a tier where you have to build is probably a bit harder.
Yeah.
Especially in a tier where the number man is, even though he never faced the number man.
And that's why Long Heap had a better performance, even though Losco no did really well for himself. I really wish we could have gotten Michael versus Losco no. That would have been impressive.
Hey.
What?
Wait, did you say you wish you had them face each other, or
no. Michael versus Losco no, I meant. In Rands.
Oh, so you did wish for them to face each other. I thought you said something else.
Okay. Crunchman and Kepper sharing a piece of the pie. We should not forget that these men have gotten 4-0 and have beaten some of the best players that they possibly can.
It's a little more forgettable for Crunchman compared to the others here.
Oh, but hey, it was still because he lost to Michael their best in week 5. Yes, I know. So yeah. Next up, upset game of the year. A lot of upsets, and these were the 6 best upsets that to ever happen. And the winner,
or more likely 6 upsets to happen.
The winner was actually really surprising. Latia side versus Star Master. Or defeating Star Master
that
winning.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Really?
That's a pretty big upset in my opinion, so.
29.2%. Lero versus Oakley's was number 2 at 25% of the vote. Klastia versus Yoda, 20.8%. Rolski versus Z, who I actually would have voted for, got 8.3%. We got Tectonic beating Edgar at 12.5%. And then Kate beating Will, only sharing a small piece of the pie.
You know, I'm just realizing 1, 2, 3, 4 of these have bayonets in them.
I mean, you definitely made an impact, and she still couldn't win Team of the Year.
Shush.
So good on Lottie and Star Master winning. Mimiest Game of the Year.
Wait, I want to comment about something. I want to just point out how Kate versus Will actually got the lowest.
Yeah.
I was telling you, that's not really a huge upset.
I mean, it's still like, when you compare the performances of Kate and you compare Will's performances leading up to semis, people would usually gravitate towards the player who had the better record, right? And so it was surprising that Kate did well.
That's true, but Kate simply played like they do when they're bring wins.
I don't think, well, this is just me spitballing here, but I don't think Kate was as motivated in playoffs as she was in semis, because at least in semis she did well. So.
Wait, what? Did you just say playoffs and semis?
Oops. They mean the same thing, but still, you get my point.
No, I mean you said she wasn't as motivated in playoffs as in semis. So,
leading up to playoffs, then. Leading up to playoffs as much as she was in semis. There.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're probably right.
I mean, we never know, but still.
Also, good job, Oakleys. That one game you won got second place for upset of the year.
Well done. Mimiest Game of the Year. Rice Man is in 3 of them. Speaks the volume of how.
Oakley's won, not played.
So, yeah, very deserving of the Udon Girl Award. Rice Man ended up having 3 games to his name that we could call Mimiest. And the winner was, unsurprisingly, the game which I was very, very happy about. The Rice Man versus Long Heap game. Explosion!
Rice Boom.
Yeah, Rice Man channeled his inner Mega Man and just basically did explosion on anything. Well, for the first couple of turns. And then the rest, he lost to a crit.
More than just a couple of turns.
More than that, then. Yeah, and then number 2.
I'm pretty sure most of his mons exploded.
He had explosion-based team. That's why. Second place was Easy versus Leo featuring Metronome.
That moment when Easy versus Leo wins second place and Spoo versus Mena doesn't get a mention.
Was that Mimi?
Yes, it was Metronome.
But it wasn't as good of a Metronome series as Easy versus Leo.
Sure about that?
What happened, okay?
It was quite the series, I'll tell you that.
Third place was Meta versus Byleth, featuring Byleth surprisingly winning against Meta. And then the 2 other Rice Man games. Well, I personally would have, yes, I would have voted for Rice Man versus Long Heap too, but Bossy versus Rice Man was also equally Mimi. And Rice Man versus TPP was just funny. So yeah, congratulations, Rice Man and Long Heap.
Sorry, Leo. I voted for Rice Man versus Long Heap.
Aww. I didn't have a best game of the year because really nothing, no games released particularly stood out, even in other games. Maybe Tony versus Ars for game of the year. I don't know.
Maybe.
Pokemon of the year. This one was really hard to decide because we've seen the samey sets for basically each mon here, and these are the 5 that were really common in terms of matchup. And the winner was also kind of a surprise because Cramorant won in Natix Uber. So Cramorant is better than Regieleki, Kyurem.
Mikoi, you're not looking at the right pie, I don't think.
I am. I'm looking at Pokemon of the Year.
Mikoi, Regieleki won.
Oh, excuse me. Regieleki won. Again, this one was a surprising one because I know Regieleki's good in SNM. Like we've seen Regieleki do really well in SNM, but like, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think it deserves winning. Cramorant got second in Natix Uber, so again, Cramorant is better than, say, Kyurem or Dragapult. That's really funny.
In that tier, yes.
Because it kept paralyzing crap. Blacephalon came third in Camo DOU. Dragapult didn't even get a mention, even though it was really good in Monocap. And then Kyurem, who I personally would have voted for, was Camo DOU, because Kyurem had a lot of reliability to it. Because you could literally put...
Kyurem has a lot of different moves and stuff that can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, you could have had
a lot of different types.
You could have had Steel Flying Kyurem, Electric Flying Kyurem, Normal Ghost Kyurem if you were really that ballsy, but yeah. So yeah, I guess it was deserved that Regieleki won. TSAA Player of the Year. I mean, was there really ever any doubt?
By the way, I voted for Blacephalon in the previous one. I voted for Blacephalon in the previous one.
Yeah, size spam Blacephalon. Plus, Indeedee was a cool set.
Yeah, simply because Z used it a lot.
TSA Player of the Year, was there really ever any doubt because the winner ended up being Longheap, 76%.
Yeah, like, the number man is too obvious of a choice. Like, sure, he's the number man. Of course he was good.
But Longheap.
People were inclined to vote for Longheap because
such an underdog.
He was especially good. He had the better record, performance, and stuff.
Mm-hmm. He played better.
He the number man.
He built better. He played better. He was better than TNM here. So yeah, Longheap deserves Player of the Year. Oh, TSA Player of the Year. Stab and Mega. We got these 5 lovely folks, and the winner ended up being Joey.
What? Not Axel?
Not Axel, not even Ice Master. Joey won with 36% of the vote. That's a surprise and a half.
Yeah, Axel.
I mean, Joey did well, but I think better...
No, I'm pretty sure Joey only won with, like, one more vote than both of them?
Yeah, by 1 vote. It was very close. But yeah,
Like, Ice Master and Axel legitimately have the same number of votes.
And I think both have the same number of records, too. Which is really funny.
No, they don't.
Oh,
Ice Master is 6-3. Axel is 6-2.
Oh, okay. So, well, close. But still, yeah, very close battle. I mean, it was very indicative of what the tier was. Poor Sage and Elgino didn't even get a share. It was Ice Master, Axel, or Fabulu.
I will say this, during the draft, me and Euphanos, well, actually, it was more like Euphanos, he noticed Axel was still in the pool and was all like, hey, is there a reason people haven't noticed this guy yet? And we on for cheap.
7.5K, not bad at all.
Yeah, like he got one of the best S&M records apart from Ice Master, if not the best. I mean, kind of depends. I mean, Ice Master lost more because he played more.
Well, for gameplay wise, I think Axel played better than Ice Master and Joey. So I would have personally voted for Axel too.
Axel was a little more creative in team building, while Ice Master
was
basically
basic.
brought variations of the same team a lot.
It was basic building.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for him though.
It did. Multi-generations Player of the Year. Michael Best. Lol.
Duh.
Lol. Alright, yeah, it wasn't really that surprising. I would have voted for them either way, so yeah.
Yeah, I voted for them. Of course I would.
The others, of course, getting good mention. Loscono, Crunchman, London. Expulso didn't even make it. Sorry.
Well, obviously not. Didn't Expulso not even win? Or just win once?
Camo Doubles, a Player of the Year. This wasn't really that surprising either. Yoda won.
Yeah.
In a very dominant performance. Roldski and Z did fairly well here, well, especially Roldski. I would have voted for Roldski because, you know...
The thing is, Z actually went negative.
Yeah.
Like that or not.
Who, Z?
Yeah.
I would have voted for Roldski. I really thought Roldski's underdog wins really made me believe he was the best doubles player we've got. Mimorik and Kepper sharing a piece of the pie, but yeah, Yoda, not surprising that he won.
Kepper only had one vote.
Kepper only had one vote, and, you know, he still had a better record than, I guess, Mimorik.
Then Z.
Yeah. Same-sex Player of the Year. The Franklin won with 36% of the vote. Arsh9, legit impressed. And then Tony came second, and then Shiloh came third. So once again...
Again with the Venus coming third.
GXC and TDK both sharing their slice. But yeah, Arsh9 very well deserved for same-sex. And then Natex Everest Player of the Year, we got to FC with 56% of the vote. Again, not really that surprising. Will came second, Star came third, and then Skooma got the mention over Lottie and Bacon.
That moment when there's 6 players here, when all the other tiers have 5, and your player is still not included.
Poor Lottie and Bacon.
What?
Oh.
I meant Kate.
Oh, Kate.
This isn't even on the options.
Poor Kate. Well, 1-4 record, really? Would I really?
I'm aware, but this just rubs salt in the wound.
Wow. Monocap Player of the Year.
I voted FC, I think. Wait, no, I voted Will.
Oh. Wow, alright. You actually voted not for the predictable choice.
Interesting that Will didn't win and FC did.
Uh-huh. Because, well, FC is more notable than Will. I know Will did amazing last year, and especially this year, but FC had a stronger impact.
I guess so. Not in my opinion, but okay.
My Monocap Player of the Year, this wasn't really that surprising either. Trichotomy won with 32% of the vote. Came second.
Yeah, I voted Trichotomy too.
Dugsa came second. Oh no, sorry. Roxy came second, and Dugsa came third. Tear Acid surprisingly came fourth. Spitfire got a mention, and Metariolu didn't get a mention. Wow.
Yeah, wow, okay.
What's up with that, huh? Metariolu was legit great.
Because I think he did the worst out of all these guys.
Aw, and we really never got to see them because Dugsa and Meta really shared that mono pool for the Absol. So yeah. It was hard for meta to really get a groove on when Dugza is there.
Yeah.
Mystery OU Player of the Year. And the winner was Ewin. So good, congratulations, you actually got a win. Oh, no. Sorry. Easy. You had Easy, not Ewin. There.
We had Easy, not Ewin.
Well, Ewin got the win at 36% of the vote. And then Easy came second with 32% of the vote. Have you actually...
Is there no reason why Ewin won, though? Why?
I mean, comparing the...
He had some wins, and he had a good record, I think, but
Yeah.
Rob Jr., I mean, anyone?
Rob Jr. and TPP sharing 12% of the vote was really surprising. I would have voted Rob Jr. personally, but
Rob Jr. freaking went 6-0. That's a better record than even Easy.
That is a strong record. And comparing the three, I'd say Rob Jr. had the best performances, so I would have voted for them in a heartbeat. But yeah, surprising that Ewin wins.
Voted Easy, but I'm so shocked that Rob Jr. got so little.
I'm surprised. Yeah, Ewin did great though.
And Wax got so little as well.
Surprising, right? And
Honestly surprised Ewin won.
Same here. And finally, to cap it all off, overall player of the year. And the winner was Longheap. So congratulations, Longheap, for once again retaining your crown. Well, not retaining your crown because you won TP SSNL and now you won this one.
He didn't. Oh wait, yeah, he did.
He won Winter SSNL. He won the TSAA SSNL, and now he's won this one for MVP, for pretty much MVP of the whole tour because, you know, we've already explained it. Longheap had a great TSAA run. He had great games to go along with it, and legit 7-0, great record. Michael Derbest, who had a better record.
I'm gonna say it right now. There are more rooms voted here than Baynets or anyone else.
Michael Derbest got second. Well, it was close. Michael Derbest still got second with 8 votes, 32% of the vote. Axel got third. So Baynets literally were the bridesmaids, never the bride. And then the rest got a share, except for Rob Jr., surprisingly. Again,
Come on.
Again, people really just failed to notice Rob Jr.'s spectacular run in OU.
He went 6-0. He was the best player of the Bound Suites.
Unfortunately, people just didn't care by that point.
Yes, unfortunately, he was picked up by the Bound Suites.
Oh, is that a hot take?
No, that's just the truth. Because he was picked up by one of the weakest teams.
He still made playoffs last year, don't forget.
Yes, and we creamed them in playoffs. Your point? They were weaker this year, like the Frost Moths.
Oof. Again, oof. Is that a hot take? Yeah. And that brings us to the end.
Not.
Fine.
I'm spitting facts. The Frost Moths were legitimately the weakest team this year.
From champion to not. And that brings us to the end of the Tours Plaza Awards. And TPP as a whole is officially over. Gotta say, more stressful than it was hosting, being solo last year, but hey, I guess we still all had fun in the end, right?
Yeah.
So once again,
last year was a bit funner.
And more.
Because the Absols weren't in finals.
Okay. Let's say thank you to Daki for co-hosting me with me. Definitely the backup I sorely needed. Thank you to every single manager who participated. Thank you for every single one of you for participating in TPP.
You're welcome.
Thank you every single one for participating, and we'll do this again next year. I may not be hosting because I need a break from hosting, but so
Nico, you'll get a year break.
it's too short. Even that is too short. And I also want to give the other.
By the time it rolls around, you might think otherwise.
No. I need a break. Next year, I'll get someone. I'll drag someone from the streets, and they could host TPP5.
I don't want someone like Frixel to host.
Wow, the shade immediately. Thank you everyone so much for watching TPP. We'll see you again next year. But by the meantime, please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe so you have notification bell so you wouldn't miss any of my videos once they come out. And next time, well, it's currently ongoing, but next time we'll do TLT.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that again. I don't know if I'm gonna do it because I tried really good day, got 3 points, and now I find myself too busy to attempt it.
But we're gonna cover it, and that is a fact. So thank you all for watching. This has been Mikoi, signing out.
Farewell.